Attention, citizens. Insurgents are among us.
Yes, YouTube Red does have an animated series. The first episode you can watch without a subscription. So, let's see what the future Robin Hood is all about. Also, plug in my amino. In the near future, nations collapse, sea levels rise to unmanageable levels, and rioting is a normal thing, as the rich have sheltered themselves onto reasonable land, leaving the poor, lower class residents to fend for themselves. A very stern, angry man can be heard from this holographic display that seems to span across the entire city, so he can be viewed at any angle. And he goes on a long tirade on how the upper city will not tolerate the invaders stealing from them, and basically doing what every villain slash leader of the rich does, completely disregard the other side. I gotta say, there's something about this animation and art style that I like. I don't think it's up to par with other 3D shows, but there's a charm to this lower budget style that I gel with. So this girl, who from now on we'll call Future Robin Hood, hacks a conveniently placed tech display control center thingy, and switches the menacing leader to a random seal. Or is it a sea lion? We also get cocky younger brother and stern older brother. Cocky younger brother laughs at the display, showing no concern for keeping their thievery as quiet as possible. Stern older brother scolds cocky younger brother. And of course, cocky younger brother goes, "What could possibly go wrong?" And of course, exactly what could go wrong did go wrong. And just like the absolute trash players of Call of Duty Zombies, they bring their danger to you, or future Robin Hood in this scenario, and also kick over her can of medicine that she was stealing from the rich area. Stern older brother is a jerk. Future Robin Hood dives for the can, both grabbing it and then grabbing onto the ledge. A very impressive save. Some would call impossible. She stays long enough to be scanned, but not long enough to be caught. It's a simple story of the poor robbing the rich to help the poor. I do have to say I really do enjoy this opening sequence, song aside, as it has a futuristic vibe to it, and feels fit for the show, as it goes through the depths of society to show how the lower citizens are rising up to take down the rich who have had it good for too long.
Robin?
Auntie!
Been raiding again, eh?
I most definitely have not been raiding again. These meds just dropped from the upper city into my hands. A miracle.
So the future Robin Hood is called Robin. Very on the nose, I see. However, we learned that while Robin is a thief, the medicine is going towards her auntie and the rest of the citizens in this very poor looking town. They build up the perception that these people cannot live under these conditions for much longer. Although Robin's character design looks just fine, I don't know so much about her auntie. I get that you want her to look poor but also still futuristic, if that makes any sense, but something about the face tattoos are just off-putting. I suppose that's what the designers maybe wanted to go for, but it always slightly annoys me when I see it. These monsters that were going after Robin before, and her thieving acquaintances, also called Drobos, find Robin with her auntie. Said auntie tries to get Robin out of danger, trying to fight off 2 Drobos at once, and Robin gets swatted into the water twice, showing that she's pretty weak, and most of her danger comes from herself, not exactly her skill or her strength, at least for now. The second knockback from the Drobos send her unconscious, floating towards the bottom of the sea, before stern older brother saves her. Then we get what this show calls a villain. This episode is going to convince you that this guy is a bad guy. I'm gonna convince you that he's not really that bad of a guy.
The gauntlet was stolen?
Yes, but there's no cause for concern.
Oh, and I should take your word for it.
So he's mad at his assistant here for letting the gauntlet slip into the poor thief's hands, right? However, if you're going to play a drinking game of how many times he lets his very incompetent assistant here off the hook and gives him another chance in this episode alone, you'd be at least a little buzzed. So nicer than your average villain gives incompetent assistant another chance to find the gauntlet. Incompetent assistant informs us that Robin's auntie has been captured and held hostage so that Insurgent Hood will come back.
Make sure she does. Any means necessary. And don't disappoint me again.
Oh, he's gonna disappoint you again, and you're gonna keep giving him chances because you love him. Now, I've been saying quite a lot of nice things about this episode, however, there are some incredibly, amazingly awful things that really can't be hidden. You ever went to an elementary school or middle school play?
You're not going anywhere, Miss...
Robin. My name's Robin.
What were you doing up there?
None of your business.
You want to get back to your aunt or what?
All right.
It sounds like the voice actors were not in the same room when they recorded. The inflections that Robin has don't really seem to complement the context and tone of stern older brother. Either that or the pauses between their dialogue are slightly too long and it becomes off-putting. I don't know why, but something smells low rent here, and I'm not talking about the city that they're living in. Because the cliche of future main characters who haven't met yet argue a lot hasn't died yet, future main characters who haven't met yet argue a lot.
Permission to disembark?
How do we know that you won't go yapping around town about what you've seen here?
Please. No one would be interested in what a mecha hand and his pirate sidekick have in their state-of-the-art piece of...
Watch your mouth!
I'm not the sidekick. He's the sidekick.
You know, he didn't deny this. I think a name change is due. So Stern's sidekick and cocky younger brother noticed that Robin rummages through their collectibles and said Gauntlet fuses into her glove, and now she can't take off this newfangled tech off her wrist. Hopefully she won't be turning into 10 different types of aliens before the season is over. I'm gonna do you guys a favor. I'm going to condense the next minute of whining and complaining down to a few sentences. Robin wants to go to the upper city, also called the Cube, to rescue her auntie. Cocky younger brother whose name has not been said yet, so put a pin in this. Thanks to the inactive Sherwood wiki for letting me know that this self-proclaimed sea pirate's name is Iniko and his stern sidekick is called Gripper. And apparently, according to this wiki, he exists. Thanks guys, lovely information indeed. But anyway, Robin wants to go back to the Cube, Iniko and Gripper don't want to go. Robin has the gauntlet, Iniko and Gripper want the gauntlet. So naturally you see where this goes. They make a deal. Robin gets the trip, but only if they get the gauntlet. Meanwhile, we meet Rose, a higher up that was in prison for civil disobedience. She's clearly the quote, rich upper class girl who doesn't see the pecking order as a good thing type of person. She doesn't do much in this episode besides take up rendering time. Speaking of taking up rendering time,
I'm only doing this because if someone could get me back to my brothers, I'd make them. You know, I don't like seeing families split up.
I knew you'd understand. Though, Tui's not really my aunt.
I'm turning this sub around.
wow, you're an actual jerk. Luckily, he doesn't turn the ship around and allows Robin to rescue her auntie. I'm glossing over it because I don't want to get claimed or anything, but the soundtrack also has these EDM style songs, and coming from a person who loves EDM, it always sounds so off-fitting for the show. I'm sure the songs are composed well, but there's something about when the vocals come in, it just sounds very hokey. It doesn't have that polish like when certain animated movies use popular songs in it. Robin solves an unnecessarily complex puzzle, and this small scene is a large part of why, even though I like the concept of the future aesthetics here, it's not executed perfectly. Why have two puzzles? Why time the puzzles? Why would this be more futuristic than a simple scan? Who would feasibly put this for security other than for novelty purposes?
I can handle it.
Not this again.
I am the head of security.
Because I made you head of security.
But, Father...
I think you mean sir, don't you?
Look, I know, the eye, the throne, the speech at the beginning of the episode, the goatee, the way he speaks, all of this is supposed to convince you that he's a major league villain, but he just sounds like a tired dad who wants his son to shape up so that he could be a good fit for when his dad is no longer running the upper city. Dude's a nice guy. So Robin finds her auntie and Rose. However little did she know, she's still tracked.
Let's see what garbage the tide washed up this time.
You're a girl?
You're a girl? How could a girl get past all of the security? But you're a girl? Dude, an eggplant emoji can get past your security system. Get over yourself, dude. So because the sheriff's son named Gisborne is trash, he lets them escape again. You'd think for the head of security you'd want someone who knows how to secure something. This guy would lose track of his left leg if it wasn't sewn to his body. Then we get some fight scenes, pretty standard, and... Wait, what? How'd you get from there to there? Why did the Drobos let you go? What's going on? Like, this was not choreographed any... Oh my god.
Competent idiot!
I can take care of things from here.
You think I'm leaving you in charge?
Well, if you were giving me the option, do I want to phone a friend? Do I got any friends? I gotta say, I'd go with all of the above. You've done absolutely nothing but forgive your son. He has no idea what he's doing, or what he's talking about, or even what to do next.
I'm sick of your incompetence. Find the gauntlet. and get the girl back.
No, you're not sick of it. He's incompetent. He is not fit for the job, but you're just gonna keep giving him chances, even though he's gonna keep messing up and making you mad. Like, you know, Sheriff. Some of this is on you as well. Before they escape, Robin notices the DNA from the gauntlet that she has was detected and revealed to be her father's. Now, why would Robin's father, a man who died in this prison, which indicates that he was against the higher-ups at some point, have a DNA gauntlet lying around the city? Or the cube? That's a well-placed hint, and it wasn't bonked over my head. It allowed me to think for myself. So since the gauntlet belongs to Robin's father, she decides to not honor the deal of Iniko and Gripper, since they all want to steal from the rich and give back to the poor. With Iniko and Gripper's skills and ride, alongside Robin's access to the doors in the cube, they band together, as they don't have anyone else that's gonna save them. It's a decent start to the series, and I think it covered a lot of bases, in a good, pretty storytelling move. The episode ends with a tease that Rose has been tracked. It would have had more impact if this entire episode didn't revolve around the fact that Robin was also tracked down, but anyway, that was the future Robin Hood. Personally, I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. I think because it's associated with YouTube Red and YouTube itself, there is a little bias. However, just because it's behind YouTube Red doesn't mean anything. I'd support the show, and I'd follow it on Twitter, which has 54 followers? Imagine having 54 followers after getting 18 million views on YouTube. Well, if you like Sherwood, from what I've shown you so far anyway, I'd love to see him get over at least 100 or something. That's just insane. Support the creators, guys. Anyways, big thanks to the supporters of November. And if you want to check out the last video I did, click here. Until then, take care. Alpha out.